What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie. Today, I would like to review, discuss, not play music from, and then ultimately rank among all the other Styx releases. Styx's latest release, Circling from Above. This came out in July, middle of July 2025. It has been out, I think, for about a month or so. I think if you pre-ordered this on their website, I think a lot of people got it about a month ago, and I was seeing reviews on YouTube, and I think I saw a print review that was praising this pretty highly and saying, hey, this is one of the best things Styx has done in a while. And my experience as a hardcore music fan for the past 4+ decades has been anytime a band doesn't put out an album that's good for a while, and then there's a gap between albums, which I don't really think there was a gap here. They put out something rather recently. There's usually at some point going to be like, oh, this is a return to form, blah, blah, blah. The band is back. And I've learned to never, ever believe that, because very rarely, seldom does it turn out to be true. And in this instance, it might be true. This doesn't sound like 70s Styx. This sounds like a version of Styx. Honestly, if it weren't for Tommy Shaw's voice and JY's voice, I'm not sure I would know this was a Styx album. I would think you could tell me that this is a new band, check them out. I would have listened. And had I not heard Tommy Shaw's voice or JY's voice, I thought this is a pretty good, slightly retro, psych pop, elements of prog album. It's a fun, good listen. There is a hardcore psych element, more of think the Beatles, Because, Abbey Road vocally, or think of a psyche, proggy, slightly proggy, sort of a Lennon Claypool Delirium type psych vibe, a little bit of ELO psych pop. There's also touches of prog. We get some more middle of the road balladry that seeps in every so often, but it's not that horrendous. It is a fun listen. It's 41 minutes long, so it's not they're not trying to jam pack a CD for 70 minutes of music because they can. Not a single song is over 4 minutes. They're all 3.5 minutes long. So all of them show up, do what they're supposed to do. There's a lot of changes in every song. They're all kind of fun, and then we move on. This was a surprisingly amazing listen. I've enjoyed, I was hardcore into Styx when I was in a preteen years. I kind of, after Kilroy was here, wasn't really into them. I reviewed all their albums earlier this year and kind of listened to the later period, which I never really checked out, and was surprised at how much I enjoyed some of those. This one I legitimately enjoy, I think, way more than anything since probably Kilroy was here, chronologically. This was a fun album. And the first half of this, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think it's not until we get to the 6th song, which is more of a ballady type song, more of a low-key, middle-of-the-road type, they're getting older, adult rock type thing. And even that, by the end of it, kind of redeems itself. It's not until we hit that 6th song where I'm okay, now I'm kind of getting bored. But then even by the end of that, I was okay, I'm kind of re-engaged. Fantastic album. It sounds fantastic. The guitar solos are nice and tasty. The energy is good. JY brings a just really weird song, as JY tends to do. Tommy sounds good. The band is a 6-piece. So you have Tommy Shaw's here, JY is here, Chuck's here on bass. And then the drums is Sucherman. Gowan is on synths and vocals. And then Ivankovich is the other guitar player. I really, 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 really enjoyed this. It's got a number of songs. I think it's got 12 songs. There's a lot of songs, but they're all pretty short. The first one is less than 2 minutes. It's called Circling from Above, and it has this really nice kind of warm, calm synthy intro, and then this little mid-tempo to slow, proggy, guitar-driven groove. It almost feels like Pink Floyd spaciness meets a little trippy Beatles prog psych element. Just really nice flavors to open up this album. That goes immediately into the second song, which is called Build and Destroy, which has this really almost doom, 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 like Pink Floyd again, this almost propulsive sheep type groove, that kind of bass groove. It's nowhere as intense or tightly wound as sheep is, but it's got that energy and it works. And then this little synth lead comes in and the synth sounds are super tasty. Really, really like this. I think the weakest part is anytime Shaw or JY are not singing. Not the biggest fan of the other vocalists. I think it's just Gowan. I'm not really sure. I don't think their voices are as, to me, connect me with the music as well as Shaw and the one. I think JY sings on maybe definitely one, maybe two. But anyways, the vocals on this aren't my favorite thing, but they're not horrible. They don't like take me out. But this is like a really nice, tightly wound, slightly proggy rock song. The lyrics are sort of a how about, we build things and destroy them, the progress and backward stepping of man, and just like this, sort of like big picture type thing. I can't say any of the lyrics are absolutely that compelling on here, but none of them are bad. The third song, Michigan, has this really nice, just driving, sort of sleek rock vibe. Just these weird little psych pop sections that pop out through it. It's a lot of fun on this album. It's playful. Whoever's bringing this psychedelic 60s Beatles pop energy, thank you. I think it makes this a neat new chapter of Styx. If this is like, if they stay together and make more albums, this is some pretty interesting stuff. Next, we get a song called King of Love, which has this like 70s psych pop vocal intro. We get then some piano, some guitar, some harmonica comes in. It's a JY song, so it's like all these weird different elements that somehow mesh. And then at one point, Shaw comes in, and I think he sings like it's the bridge or like a pre-chorus or something. So that nice. Anytime JY and Shaw sing on the same song, like Snowblind or anything, those things work perfectly. This works perfectly. Really tasty guitar. By far the weirdest, most playful thing on here. Yeah, King of Love. It just works. It's just JY bringing weird JY energy. And then everybody buying in, and it's a fun song. It's Clear has this sort of proggy ballady vibe, which kind of gently builds, some nice synth ideas throughout there, a nice hard middle section, some weird ELO type synthy stuff with some weird ELO vocals, a very playfully prog song. First 5 songs, just each of them, bringing something a little bit different, but being playful, having a lot of psych touches, elements of prog, good stuff. 6 is the first time I'm like, okay, maybe we've hit a speed bump. Acoustic Shaw ballad, some quite a ways through it, maybe like a third of the way through it. I think the drums and the bass drop, and that's kind of adds a cool little new element. I like the bass sound on this particularly. The song gets a little momentum and kind of low key redeems the song, but it doesn't start out as one of my favorite things on here. Everybody Raise a Glass literally starts off with an Auld Lang Syne intro. Then we get some really cheesy, kind of bouncy, psyche pop, sort of a whimsical, almost like McCartney, Wings, McCartney 70s vibe. You can almost hear this dropped on like maybe Band on the Run or Venus and Mars or something like that, with like a bouncy piano vibe. A little cheesy, but not a horrible, not bad. Blue-Eyed Raven, very folky acoustic vibe. There's some violin on here. It has kind of reminds me of Boat on the River, just that kind of like, there's acoustic energy, but this forward momentum kind of keeps you engaged and keeps you involved, like a rootsy rock bounce. Fiddle solo in here, kind of good. And then we get a song called She Knows, which is fantastic. Piano-driven rock with some guitar that comes in. First thing I thought of is there's a glam rock element to this, and it reminded me of the song Wig in a Box. I pull the wig down, Wig in a Box from Hedwig and the Angry Inch. If you have not heard Hedwig and the Angry Inch, fantastic glam rock album, soundtrack to the play/movie. Check out the movie soundtrack. And this reminds me of that. And it's psych, playful rock energy, absolutely works. There's like Beatles think it's like a soprano sax or some like high brass instrument that comes in there that provides some weirdness. There's some carnival intrusions that come in, some like do 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 do, you know, like merry-go-round type stuff. Just a good time, like a surprisingly good time. Like, I just did not expect this from a Styx album in 2025, to be perfectly honest. If you had told me back in 83 when I got done listening to Kilroy Was Here for the first time that 30 plus, 40 plus years later, I'd be even more, I'd be super excited about a new Styx album, would have blown my mind even as like a 12-year-old. Ease Your Mind is next. Kind of has a Queen vocal progginess to this. It's also a little bit soft. Some choral singing in here. A little bit of Queen-esque. I think it's a really short, like 46 seconds, a really short little song. The Thing That You Said, simple piano, playful Shaw pop. There's a really nice low-key synth solo, kind of a big ending that starts to flirt with the She's So Heavy, sort of like, you know, vamp guitar riff. We don't quite get there, but you can kind of hear it kind of lurking underneath as the outro just kind of goes a little longer than you'd expect. We Lost the Wheels Again. The opening acoustic guitar sounds like the Rake song from the Decemberists, the Hazards of Love album. Just awesome energy, good bounce. Almost has like a, also the vocals, I don't know which vocalist this is. I don't know if it's Gowan or I don't know how many vocalists they have, but reminds me of like 90s or maybe early 2000s kind of Widespread Panic, some of their studio albums, just that vocal delivery and that sort of their version of that sort of Southern pop that they would do. And then finally, there's a song called Only You Can Decide, which is like a softer Shaw ballad album closer, whatever. But I really, really enjoyed this album. Starts off super strong, the first 5 tracks, gets weaker for a while, but then there's enough interesting little musical decisions and production choices and psych weirdness sort of dropped into random places that like keep my attention for the entire album. All the songs are under 4 minutes, which I think is just well done. Like just a really nice, tightly produced, well thought out 41 minutes of music that, again, like, it doesn't matter that this is Styx or not. I can't say this is like any sort of definitive Styx sound. What was it, like art rock or pop rock or whatever they called it back in the 70s? Like, this is a different version of whatever Styx is, but it's a good version of whatever Styx is. And I think it's the best version they've had for decades. They flirted with this kind of stuff a lot on recent albums, but the commitment to the psych poppiness, the commitment to the Beatle flavors, to that sort of subgenre of rock, fantastic. I enjoyed this album. I recommend this album. I recommend this album in the sense that, like, they're not breaking musical ground. They're not going to redefine anything. But if you just like rock music and you just like a good listen, like, I can't say this is going to be a top 10 album of mine, but if you had any interest in anything Styx did, I would say in the past 4 decades, you were going to flat out love this album. I was surprised at how much, and like, I will listen to this again. Not sure when, but gearing up for the Austin Psych Fest in like 6 weeks. So a lot of deep dive in there. That's some heavy music. But sometimes when I need something a little cleaner and lighter and pure and sweeter and just psychedelic colors of the brightest, warmest sort, but anchored in some Styx sense of rock. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm rambling at this point. But yeah, Circling from Above. Keep doing it, whatever you guys are doing, because this was a good listen. I watched, listen to this. I wanted to see what it was live. And there's a show from like within the last week or two, as I'm recording this in like the end of July 2025. It was a show from about 2 weeks ago. I think it was in somewhere on the West Coast. And it was just so, it felt so overproduced. And the lights were like so choreographed and big and like dated in like an 80s like rock tour. And it wasn't what I wanted to see. But if this band, just as a 6-piece, just went to any club and just set up their instruments and played and didn't bring a stage set and just rocked these songs, I think they would be so good live. Like, play a handful of these songs every night and mix in old tracks every night. Like, I don't know. I just wish more bands had that, like, hey, let's just tour and play whatever we want to do instead of like bringing kind of this show on the road. Because the show on the road just felt, it didn't feel as immediate and warm as this. Like, I'm completely digressing here because I was like, oh, I might go check them out if they come through town. And then this YouTube video popped up and like, there's something really sterile about that live performance that I don't think is in this album. So that's just me criticizing something I saw on YouTube. So my bad. Anyways, thoughts, you know how, subscribe, like, share, comment, whatever you want to do in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Go check out this album. It's a fun, good listen. Styx, you're doing well, Styx. Good job. You and the Doobie Brothers. That new Doobie Brothers album also surprisingly good. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Peace. Talk to you later. Never mind, I forgot to rank the album. I have it way up there. Yes, out of the 16 I've already done or the 17 I've already done, it's in number 7. Yeah, I really, really like this album. Like I said, this album is making me happy and making me excited to like go back and listen to it and enjoy these psych sounds. So this psych pop, it's wonderful. All right, now I'm done. Sorry for that. All right, peace. Talk to you later.